still being an agent of chaos honestly reconfirms that you still ain't grew up.
It's my hope that that we can stand in a place of peace.
We're not in a place of peace.
What will it take for us to get to that space? That's my whole thing.
It's not gonna happen.
I don't do anything toward you.
Okay.
I've been waving that white flag for so long now. Like.
Yeah, and see, that's where the problem comes in. You pretend wave a white flag while you doing other stuff behind the scenes. So I don't see your flag. Your flag waving is a red declare war flag. Martell playing mind games, that's just what he does. Like him showing up here today with these flowers, this smile on his face like Prince Charming, when we all know that he's responsible for all of the stuff happening on social media pertaining to me. That could change people's opinions about me by him giving these false narratives. He's responsible for that.
And we got all this stuff that we're gonna be around each other.
Things have officially gone left between Melody Sherry and Martell Holt once again, and this time, it's not about who said what on social media or who's trying to look good for the cameras. It's about truth, pain, and years of chaos that never seem to end. Watching their latest conversation felt like seeing two people who have lived through the same storm but still can't find peace on the same shore. Melody has reached her breaking point, and her words, "You are an agent of chaos," hit with the kind of truth that cuts deep. Because when you look at how Martell continues to move, you realize Melody isn't exaggerating. She's exposing the reality that's been there all along. From the very start of this sit-down, the tension was thick. Melody sat calm, controlled, and collected, but you could tell that behind that calmness was exhaustion. Exhaustion from years of lies, manipulation, and pretending that peace could ever exist when Martell refuses to take real accountability. Meanwhile, Martell tried to play the victim, smiling, bringing flowers, acting like he was there to make peace. But the energy said something different. It was the same old Martell, trying to rewrite history and make Melody look like the angry one, the difficult one, when the truth is she's just tired of the games. As soon as Melody started speaking, you could hear the weight in her voice. She's been here before, the apologies, the gaslighting, the charm. And she's over it. She told Martell straight up that they are not in a good place, no matter how much he tries to pretend otherwise. She even pointed out how Martell was sitting there, smiling like everything was fine, while he's the same man spreading false narratives online, trying to damage her image. Melody made it clear that his so-called white flag of peace isn't real. She said, "You pretend to wave a white flag while you're doing other stuff behind the scenes." That line right there was powerful because it summed up everything we've seen from Martell for years: fake peace, real chaos. And what did Martell do? Instead of owning up, he tried to twist it again. He said, "I don't do anything toward you, like all those interviews, shady posts, and indirect digs just don't exist." Melody wasn't falling for it. She told him straight, "Your flag waving is a red declare war flag." You could feel the frustration in her tone because she's no longer dealing with him from a place of love, she's dealing with him from a place of experience. She knows exactly who he is now. Then, as usual, Martell started trying to paint himself as the misunderstood one. He started talking about how Melody supposedly used to leave the house to go to hotels for me time, implying that she might have been cheating too. That was his go-to defense. When you can't take the blame, you try to spread it around. But Melody wasn't having it. She told him clearly that the only time she left was to calm down and get her peace. Martell, on the other hand, was out here living a double life, lying to her face while entertaining someone else. And the sad part is, he still doesn't fully understand the damage he caused. When Martell said, "If I knew what I did was going to destroy my whole family, I wouldn't have done it," you could tell he was trying to sound remorseful. But at this point, those words are empty. Because if he truly understood, he wouldn't still be out here stirring chaos. Melody wasn't moved. She told him flat out, "You don't get to tell me when I move past anything." That line hit hard because it reminded everyone watching that healing is personal. Martell wants to act like time should erase everything, but he keeps doing things that reopen the wounds. As the conversation went on, you could see how different they've become. Melody's growth is obvious. She's focused on peace, boundaries, and her kids. Martell, though, is still stuck in the same cycle of blame and manipulation. Even when she tries to keep things calm, he finds a way to turn it into another argument. When she said he's an agent of chaos, she wasn't just talking about this moment, she was talking about a pattern. A long, toxic pattern of behavior that has followed their entire relationship. Let's be honest, Martell has mastered the art of pretending to be the victim. He'll sit there, talk about how he regrets everything, how he wants peace, but then he'll go on social media and like shady posts or make little comments that tear Melody down. That's not peace. That's manipulation. Melody sees right through it, and that's why she's no longer entertaining his fake apologies. She told him, "It's my hope that we can stay in a place of peace," but the truth is, Martell doesn't know how to operate in peace. He only knows drama. When Melody said, "We're not in a place of peace," it wasn't bitterness, it was honesty. She's not interested in pretending anymore. And that's the thing about Melody, she's learned how to protect her peace, even when the person trying to disturb it is the father of her children. She's not the same woman who used to believe his sweet talk and fake remorse. Now she listens, she responds, but she doesn't absorb. That's growth. Then came the moment where Martell, as usual, started bringing up the past but twisting it. He claimed Melody accused him of cheating when she was supposedly doing the same. He said she went to hotels and used that as a way to imply she was unfaithful. Melody instantly called that out. She said, "You did say that." Multiple times. He tried to backtrack, saying maybe he meant it as a possibility, but at that point, it was clear Martell doesn't want to take real accountability. He wants to rewrite history to make himself look better. When he finally said, "I'm sorry for that," Melody didn't even flinch. She said, "No, you're not." And she was right. Because you can't keep saying sorry while continuing the same behavior. Martell acts like an apology is a reset button, but it's not. Melody knows that. She's not falling for it anymore. You could tell she's emotionally detached from his words. It's not anger, it's clarity. She sees the game for what it is. As they talked about co-parenting, it became even clearer that their definition of peace is completely different. Martell thinks peace means Melody forgiving and forgetting everything, pretending the past didn't happen. Melody thinks peace means accountability, respect, and boundaries. That's why they keep clashing. Martell doesn't understand why she doesn't just get over it, but he fails to realize that real healing requires honesty, not denial. When he said, "Why can't you forgive me? Why can't you get that off your heart?" it showed just how lost he is. Because true forgiveness can't happen when the person keeps doing the same things. Melody told him, "You don't get to tell me when I move past anything." That's one of the most powerful things she's said in this entire series. It's the voice of a woman who has taken her power back after years of being silenced. Martell then tried to act like he's doing great things now, trying to change, trying to co-parent better. But even that felt performative. He said Melody should focus on the great stuff he's doing in the present. But let's be real, great men don't need to remind people of their growth, they show it through consistent actions. And that's exactly what Martell has failed to do. He wants credit for effort without accountability for damage. Then, as if the moment couldn't get any more awkward, Martell started talking about Melody's ring. He noticed she was wearing a ring on her wedding finger and tried to claim he bought it. He said, "That ring, I bought that for you in 2010. Melody immediately corrected him, "No, you didn't." And the way she said it was calm but firm, like she's used to shutting down his lies. Martell then asked why she was even wearing it, trying to imply she was holding on to the past. Melody's response? "I'm manifesting." That line was so symbolic. She wasn't manifesting Martell, she was manifesting peace, love, and something new for herself. But of course, Martell twisted it, saying, "You should be manifesting with something new, not of the old." The irony was unbelievable because if anyone's stuck in the past, it's him. Their whole exchange showed exactly why co-parenting between them is so tense. Melody is trying to move forward while Martell keeps dragging the past into the present. He wants to have control over the narrative, but she's not giving him that anymore. When she told him to just send the kids some flowers instead of bringing them through her, he got defensive. He said, "I do send them things like food to your house." And Melody, without even breaking composure, just told him to be quiet. You could tell she's done arguing with him about things that don't matter. She knows how he operates, always trying to get a reaction, always trying to play the nice guy while stirring trouble behind the scenes. When he said, "Why do you always want to make me look horrible?" Melody shut that down too. She said it's not about making him look bad, it's about telling the truth. And that's the difference between them. Martell wants control. Melody wants peace. Those two things can't coexist. This entire scene was a reminder of how far Melody has come. She's no longer begging for understanding or closure. She's standing in her truth, firm and unshaken. Martell, on the other hand, is still trying to rewrite the past and act like he's the victim of circumstances he created. Melody calling him an agent of chaos wasn't a moment of pettiness, it was truth. Because even when he pretends to want peace, his actions scream otherwise. You could see that even when Martell tried to act calm, he couldn't handle Melody's honesty. He called her difficult just because she wasn't agreeing with his version of events. That's the oldest tactic in the book, make the woman look crazy or combative when she refuses to play along. But Melody didn't flinch. She told him directly, "Just because it's not what you want to hear doesn't mean it's not my truth." That line right there sums up everything that's wrong with their dynamic. Martell doesn't want Melody's truth, he wants his own story validated. Even when the conversation ended, you could still feel the tension. Martell left trying to play it cool, but deep down, you could tell he was frustrated because he didn't get what he came for. He didn't get sympathy, he didn't get forgiveness, and he definitely didn't get control. Melody stood her ground. She let him know that while she wishes peace for the sake of their children, she won't compromise her boundaries to make him comfortable. That's growth. That's maturity. That's what real healing looks like. What's so powerful about this whole exchange is how much it mirrors real life for so many people who have had to co-parent with a narcissistic or manipulative ex. Melody's strength isn't just inspiring, it's educational. She's showing what it looks like to protect your peace even when chaos keeps knocking at your door. And Martell? He's showing how denial and ego can keep a person stuck in the same patterns forever. Watching Martell try to rewrite history was frustrating but not surprising. He's been doing it for years. But this time, the difference was Melody didn't take the bait. She didn't argue back, she didn't raise her voice, she just corrected him calmly and kept it moving. That's the power of emotional control. When someone has caused you that much pain and you can still look them in the eye without letting them disturb your peace, that's real strength. And even when Martell tried to guilt-trip her about forgiveness, saying, "You should want to be on a better page," Melody didn't fold. She reminded him that forgiveness doesn't mean access. You can forgive someone and still not allow them to disrupt your peace. Martell doesn't understand that concept. Because he sees forgiveness as permission. But Melody is setting the record straight. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. This conversation was heavy, emotional, and real. It showed that no matter how much time passes, some wounds take longer to heal when the other person refuses to stop causing new ones. Melody's calmness wasn't cold, it was clarity. She's done explaining herself. She's done trying to make him see what he refuses to see. She's done being the emotional punching bag for someone who created chaos and then plays dumb about it. When she said, "You are an agent of chaos," it wasn't just about the argument, it was about everything Martell represents. From the cheating to the lies, to the public embarrassment, to the manipulation, he has brought nothing but chaos into her peace. And the fact that she still shows grace, still co-parents, still keeps her composure, that's strength on another level. Martell may think he's still in control, but the truth is, Melody has outgrown the entire situation. She's not trying to prove anything to him anymore. She's simply living her truth and protecting her peace. And honestly, watching that kind of growth is beautiful to see. It's a reminder that even after betrayal, heartbreak, and chaos, peace is still possible, but only if you stop trying to heal in the same environment that broke you. In the end, Martell walked away still confused, still defensive, still stuck in the same cycle. Melody walked away calm, clear, and unbothered. And that's the difference between pretending to grow and actually growing. Martell talks about peace. Melody lives it.